Hi again. So now that we have our program open, what we will do is customize the window because as I recall, layout of the program is different as I have it here. So we can move the subtools windows to wherever we want to put them. So there are people who prefer them floating over your work area for quicker access, for example, to the color wheel. So for example, you can put it over here. I'm going to clip it again where I had it. And as you can see, you can move the subtools, the windows, to where the program shows a red highlight. Also, you can change the size of the windows. Now that you have customized all your subtools and your work area, we go to File and click on New. Here we leave the illustration option and we can change the size of the canvas in a pre-established size, or also you can move the width and height to whatever you want. Also you can change the resolution. We click on OK and now we have our work area. As you can see in the layer window, we have a paper layer where we can do anything and a raster layer where we can draw. So what we are going to do we need at least 3 layers. The first one will be the draft layer, the second one where the inks will be, and the third one where the rules or the details are going to be drawn. So as you can see, I opened different kind of layers. The first one is what it's called a raster layer, and the second one is a vector layer. But what's the difference between both? As you can see here, we don't have any option in the raster layer. But if we click on the vector layer, it will give us options that the other one doesn't have. So now I am going to show you the difference between the two layers drawing with a mouse. If we try to draw a circle by hand with a mouse, this is what we are going to obtain. Well, at least me, this is what awfully drawn circle I end up with. And if we try to do it in the vector layer, there won't be any difference. It is as awful as the one below. But when I start working on the vector layer, you will see the difference it makes. As far as I know, Photoshop doesn't have a similar option to vector layers. I think the most similar one would be paths, but it is very different on how you do your drawing with paths than what we are going to do with vector. So now after we draw our attempt of the circle, if we try to, or if we want to close this circle, we have to go to eraser and try to erase the line, and then with the pen we try to close it, and as you can see, I failed miserably. And with the vector layer, if we click on this option, that it's the same that we have below here, but I think it is quicker to access it from here. It will now show us a lot of different tools, well, subtools, for our vector line. So what does these options do? First of all, what is a control point? So if we zoom in and put our mouse on top of the line, you will see a lot of little dots that appear on top of the line. So all these little dots are the control points. When we draw on a vector layer, all the tiny movements we do with the pen or the mouse, the program interprets those movements as a new control point. So for example, with this line, if we want to make it straight, it is going to be a nightmare to move all the little dots, but we can go to simplify vector line, pass the mouse, the cursor over the line, and as you can see, we had dozens of control points, and now we have 6, but you can simplify it further. Okay, let's see. Yes, we now have 3. So we can move this control point and it will change the line, it will change the line. So this is the enormous advantage that Clip Studio Paint has over other programs, at least that I know of. But this is not everything that we can do with the vector layer. Another option that Clip Studio Paint offers us is the vector eraser. So if I click vector eraser and enable the first option, or if I don't enable vector eraser, the eraser will work as a normal eraser, where it will erase wherever I put the mouse. And as you can see, it will cut the lines and put control points in every one of the lines. But if I enable it, if I select the other options, for example, if I select the erase up to intersection, now I will draw another line, but I didn't want it to be all the way. So instead of erasing up to the intersection, if I enable the vector eraser and then select that option, I can just click on it, and it will do the work for me. And you can do this in whatever point you want. It will erase up to the intersection, as it says. But what happens if I want to erase the whole line? Then I select the third option that it says whole line, and it will do what its name says. So now, returning to our circle, at least it is a kind of hand-drawn circle, what we were aiming for in the beginning. Now I go to simplify vector line and select my line. I will remember you that this is with mouse, so that's why it's difficult for me. And there are more control points that I was expecting, so I'm going to simplify it again. And again, just in case. And now I will see, and well, this is more manageable. So another advantage is that we can connect the vector line. If we select the 2 points, they are going to have to get closer, like this, and then connect vector line, and now it is done. I only have one line. So instead of having 2 control points, now I have one that we can move to, so we can change the shape of our circle. So with a little imagination, for example, this can be a cell. But what happens if you want to have angles? you go to switch corner, and first you will see a circle, and when you click on it, it will change to a little square. I'm going to move it so you can see the difference. This is an angle, and if we switch corner again, then it will change to a curve. That's what you can do with a vector line. So, for example, if you want to add control points, obviously you click on it and then click on the line wherever you want to add another control point, and also you can move it. And for more control over your control points, you can also delete them manually. So now we have less dots, less control points to work with, so we can do our circle in a better way. So we went from a very awful circle drawn with a mouse to a almost well done circle done with the vector layer. So I wanted to do this exercise so I can show you the difference between the raster layer and the vector layer, so you can see what you can accomplish with the vector layer. I think the difference is very big, so to what you can do with vector layer and with raster layer. So you don't need your drawing tablet to work and do a scientific drawing. You can do it with a mouse. It will be very difficult and very maybe not difficult is the word, more like it will take you a lot of patience and a long time, but you can manage to do your drawings with mouse using the vector layers. In the case you can't buy the drawing tablet. So I'm going to end the video here and we will start drawing on the next one. See you later.